Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the story, a short story about the life of Dante Alighieri. And as usual, this story is told by Dante Alighieri himself. I'm Dante, and this is the story of my life. I'm Durante di Alighiero degli Alighieri, but the world knows me simply as Dante. I was born in Florence in 1265, when the city was filled with poets, warriors, endless political strife. My fate was never to live in peace. I was meant to suffer, to love, to lose, and to write. They call me the father of the Italian language, the poet of Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, hell, purgatory, and paradise, and heaven, the man who wandered to hell, climbed the mountain of redemption, and gazed upon heaven itself. But before all that, I was just a Florentine who was exiled and never saw his city again. I saw Beatrice Portinari when I was just 9 years old, and in that instant my soul was bound to hers. She was a grace, beautiful, divinity itself, and though she barely knew me, she became my muse. We met only a handful of times. She married another man. She died at 24, but in my heart she never faded. She became my guide, my salvation, my celestial love. In life she was out of reach, but in my poetry she would lead me to the stars. Florence in my time was a battlefield. The Guelphs and the Ghibellines tore the city apart, fighting for power. Even within the Guelphs there were the blacks and the whites, and I, as a proud white Guelph, stood against the Pope's interference in our affairs. For that I paid the price. In 1302 they sentenced me to exile, accused of corruption, false charges designed to rid Florence of my voice. If I return, I would be burned alive. I never saw my home again. The Divine Comedy, my journey to the afterlife in exile, I had nothing, no family, no land, no hope. But I had my mind, I had my words, and so I wrote. I descended into hell, guided by the Roman poet Virgil. I walked to fire, saw the damned twisted in their suffering, traitors frozen in ice, gluttons drowning in filth, the lustful swept by eternal winds. I placed my enemies there, Florence corrupt souls condemned for eternity. I climbed the purgatory where the soul struggled toward redemption, and at the mountain's peak I finally found paradise, where Beatrice awaited me, where divine love shone brighter than the sun itself. This was my revenge. This was my masterpiece. I died in 1321 in Ravenna, far from Florence, my bones laid in exile just as I had lived. They say Florence later regretted by my banishment, but my body remains where I took my last breath. They can build a monument, they can carve my face in stone, but they will never change the truth. I was Dante Alighieri, I was exiled, but I was never silenced. My words are eternal. And this is the short story of one of the most important poets of the Italian history. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.